Alright, S34N, I think I'm ready to hop back into the hosting saddle today. I appreciate you stepping in last week, but I just feel like doing it myself this time. So if you just write me up a script and pull me up some screen caps, I think I can take it from there. S34N? S3... Where did he go? S3? S3? Where are you? S3? S3? Huh. I wonder where he got off to. I didn't imagine it, did I? Let me look. Alright, let's see here.
Identification requested. Accessing. Unit ID S34N.
No, that definitely happened. Maybe it was like a one-time only thing. I wish they'd told me that sooner, or I would have used him for the finale. Oh well. I guess it's just you and me, Kaizoku. Hey there, Pirate Rangers. But thanks to S34N for stepping in last week, I am back in the saddle for another Power Rangers Super Megaforce episode review. Though, before we dive in, there are a few things that I would like to address. First of all, my apologies for last week's video coming out so late, just a few days ago, in fact. I was just really tired last week. Not sick, just chronically fatigued. I feel a good bit better now, so maybe I was just fighting off a bug or something. I do plan on making these videos more timely in the future, and by the time we get to Dino Charge, I want these videos to come out on a set schedule. Second, as we get near the end of Super Megaforce, I've begun to think about the videos that I'm going to make during the off-season break. Yes, I am planning on making videos during that time, and not just taking the time off along with the show. Now, that won't be the case for the lovely off-season hiatuses we've been getting, as those are considerably longer. So, I'm looking for some ideas of videos that I can make during the off-season break. I already have some ideas, best and worst episodes, character analyses, etc. But if you have any ideas, go ahead and leave me a comment right down below and let me know what you think. And finally, one of the ideas that I do have for an off-season video is a corrections video. I was recently watching Linkara's excellent History of Power Rangers series, and I was watching the Wild Force episodes. I came to realize that I made a mistake during my review of Alliance Alliance. I gave them some flack for referring to the home of the Red Lion as Animaria instead of the Animarium. But it turns out that during the show, several characters do refer to the Kingdom of Animaria on more than one occasion. So I need to bump them up for that maybe a little bit. Have you spotted any other mistakes that I've made? Once again, leave a comment down below and let me know what they are. If I get enough legit mistakes, I will make a corrections video. Alright, with all that handled, let's get into the 14th episode of Super Megaforce, In the Driver's Seat. And since it is the RPM tribute episode... Change cell, activate! RPM! Get in gear! Alright, RPM, Ranger Operator, Series Orange. Let's do it. The episode opens with some flurble-warble wobbly bits in the sky. Gosei says that this is an extra-dimensional alert and asks Tenso to call the Rangers. I like when the episodes take a more Mighty Morphin direction this way, when something happens that the Rangers need to respond to, rather than them stumbling into the plot of the week. Gosei says that the distress call is coming from Corinth. Noah looks Corinth up in his Ranger database and says that it was the home of the RPM Rangers. We also get direct, in-show confirmation that RPM took place in another dimension. That makes it a little weird that their power is connected to this dimension's morphing grid, but maybe the morphing grid covers all the dimensions as well as all the planets. It also makes it a little weird that Gosei knows anything about Corinth, but again, maybe his Ranger database covers Rangers in all dimensions. Gosei says that Corinth has been at peace for some time now, so I guess nothing came of RPM's Vengeance is in the Morpher ending. The Rangers are ready and raring to jump to Corinth's defense, but Gosei worries that this would leave the Earth defenseless. You could always just split the team up, but Jake says to holler if anything happens. Yeah. But before the Rangers are able to leave, Professor Cog and some grinders, the grunts from RPM, pop through the wormhole and land on Earth. In a brilliant bit of writing, Professor Cog says, "Ah, back on Earth." Professor Cog was one of the villains in the Samurai RPM team-up movie Clash of the Red Rangers, so he really is back on Earth. The skyship flies into the wormhole, so Cog is now indeed on a defenseless Earth, just as Gosei worried. This is where the intro comes in, and that is how you do suspense building before the intro sequence. The Rangers are trapped in another dimension, and a new evil villain is now on a defenseless planet Earth. Cog realizes that the one flaw in his plan is a way to get into the city from where the wormhole is. He sees a farmer approaching on a tractor and tells the grinders to hide. He pretends to be a statue, and for some non-explicable reason, the farmer still says howdy to this incredibly non-humanoid looking statue. Cog hijacks the tractor and demands the farmer take them into the city. The following scene is actually quite beautiful, and for a couple of different reasons. The wormhole effect is very pretty, and we get to see the Rangers riding helmetless in the crow's nest through it. Emma reflects on their time being Power Rangers and how many times they've saved the world. This saddens Orion for a moment as he wasn't able to save his world. It was a nice touch actually, because Orion's been very happy-go-lucky for a while, and his backstory hasn't really been a factor lately. The Ranger's aesthetics stand out too. This is going to sound weird, but Orion's Ranger suit looks different, but actually better. It looks higher quality than the Sentai version. Now, that might be what this suit was designed for, to look really good with no action going on. However, seeing the Rangers in their pirate suits without their helmets just makes me... how do I put this? I don't want Super Megaforce to be Gokaiger, but I just wish that the pirate theming had been ignored less, if that makes any sense. The Rangers clear the wormhole and arrive in the machine world, Corinth. Yes, let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. The Rangers spend their entire time in Corinth in the machine world setting from Gowanger. I guess it works if you're not going to use anyone from RPM, but it still stands out to anybody that's familiar with the Sentai. Noah says, "It's like stepping into Ranger history." Sorry, can't let this one go. You've been stepping into Ranger history all season. Your shoes are practically covered in Ranger history. You have transformed into any number of past teams. Heck, even teams from other planets. Just because Corinth is in another dimension doesn't make it any more or less a part of Ranger history. Anyway, a Zord zooms down the road under the skyship, and Noah spots an RPM logo on it. He looks it up in his database and says it's the Turbo Falcon Zord, a prototype Zord that was locked away because it's impossible to control. This made me raise an eyebrow because unlike other things in the Ranger database, this did not take place during the events of RPM. But kind of like I said before, maybe Gosei keeps up with the events of other Rangers in other dimensions. Back on Earth, with the Rangers gone, Cog's tractor finally reaches the city and his forces begin attacking. The Armada crew are stunned by this and by the absence of the Rangers. Lavira says something smells fishy, and Bakar says, "I don't even like fish!" His generals try to reason with him that with the Rangers apparently gone, they could just start taking over the planet. But of course, Bakar is a moron and too prideful to let Cog go unchallenged. He actually takes all three of his generals to go confront him. Back in Corinth, the Rangers grab a megaphone and start trying to reason with the Turbo Falcon Zord. But apparently they're all about as smart as Bakar is, because none of them say anything that would make even a stray dog want to join them. So they give chase, but the Falcon Zord fires at them. Now, just when I was thinking that they were spending a lot of time in this episode helmetless, Troy orders them to put their helmets back on. I liked that. It was a very Mighty Morphin back-to-action type moment. What I don't like is how they did it. They used this zoom-in, zoom-out effect to go from helmets off to helmets on, but it creates a jump cut and it just looked sloppy. They release the Zords, well, except for Orion's, which didn't come along for the ride. And we get the extremely rare individual Zord fight. None of them are able to stop the Turbo Falcon, however. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the two evil forces confront each other and grunt fight! I really like how, since these two are from different dimensions, this comes off like a fight between warring factions. Back in Corinth's machine world, they're still chasing after the Turbo Falcon Zord, with Emma's sub somehow driving down the street. They think they've got it penned in, but it flies, just like Papa. Oh, oops, sorry, wrong show. When the Turbo Falcon starts firing without even really aiming, Troy realizes that it's more like a wild animal. They don't as much need to take control of it, but more break it in, like a wild horse. They form the Megazord, well, the upper half of it anyway, and plop it down onto the Turbo Falcon using chains as reins. Troy announces that it's been tamed by channeling his countryside. Like a bucking bronco, this Zord's been tamed. Right, little fella? Doru, Doru. Gosei and Tenso realize that the wormhole is gone and it's a trap! But they can't contact the Rangers. We hop back over to the bad guy fight, and Levira actually has an amazing whip attack. Tenso adjusts the plot convenience dial, and Gosei is able to contact the Rangers, explaining the situation before losing contact. He then tells Tenso to adjust the keep trying dial. The Turbo Falcon Zord goes vroom vroom, vroom vroom, and Jake thinks it's about to go crazy again. But suddenly, Gia speaks car and realizes that it wants to help. The Turbo Falcon Zord reopens the wormhole, allowing the Rangers to leave. Interestingly, they don't see the Turbo Falcon Zord as a new Zord for them, despite having combined with it, as they leave it in Corinth. Only when the Rangers show up does it occur to Cog that maybe working with the Armada would be the wiser plan. Unfortunately for him, it occurs to Levira at the same time that they can let the Rangers and Cog duke it out and then take on the weakened Victor, and they retreat. The Rangers do a tribute morph into RPM, and interestingly, Professor Cog is more scared of them. This is a nice touch. It's realizing that your enemy has switched to your weakness. Orion once again uses the RPM Goldie Silves key. Gia says her power boots are awesome, which leaves me wondering what the heck power boots are. If she's referring to the wheels on her legs, those are cuffs, not boots. The Rangers get a lot of to-be-expected car puns, stuff like, I'm seriously revved up, and Orion gets a plain one, I feel the need for Mach speed. I have to say, I really like the RPM black suit as a girl. Maybe it's because we don't get female Black Rangers. You know that's not what I meant! The Rangers go back to Super Mega mode to use the Super Mega Cannon to blast the Super Mega Monster and make it Super Mega defeated. Cog is able to make himself grow, consistent with RPM, but there's no mention of beginning the download. In fact, there's no mention of Venjix at all. The Rangers form their Megazords, and the Turbo Falcon Zord calls to them from Corinth. Apparently, this time he needs the Rangers to open the wormhole using their RPM Ranger keys. They do so, and the Turbo Falcon comes to help them. The Megazord inserts a giant engine cell into it, and they say, "Engine cell, activate," which I liked. They form the legendary RPM Megazord, sort of a driving centaur formed similarly to the legendary Wild Force Megazord. They use the RPM Final Strike, legendary RPM Grand Prix. Cog drops some more funny lines about how he told the Rangers to come fight, not to win, and blows up. Troy then gives us this mouthful. Super Mega Rangers and Turbo Falcon, that's a mega win. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Turbo Falcon drops the Rangers off right below where the wormhole was and then returns to Corinth. The Rangers need a ride, so they try to get one from the same tractor driver that Cog held up. But he says he's not falling for it again. This humor doesn't really work though, because Cog was a giant robot and these are actual normal people. Besides, they didn't even trick him, they just held him up. Ugh. All that said, I really, really liked this episode. Let's just hoist the colors and I'll tell you why. Episode 14, In the Driver's Seat. Pros: love Rangers going on missions. Pun humor was written well. RPM elements like engine cells are done well. Cons: some of the dialogue takes a left turn at fourth and confusing. Corinth is really just Go-Wander's machine world. And the RPM Rangers themselves are missed. This is what Super Megaforce should have been. In the driver's seat gets 4 flags out of 5. My favorite episode of Super Megaforce so far is Alliance Alliance. I gave it a 4 out of 5, and I may bump that up to a 5 out of 5 after realizing my Animaria Animarium mistake. I liked it so much because they got rid of the high school stuff and just focused on a team of Rangers, powered by the past, going on a mission to find a legendary power. And that's what happened here. Distress call, call the Rangers, legendary place, mission, new legendary Zord power. This should have been the formula for every new Zord episode, if not every episode, period. These episodes show us what Super Megaforce could have been, so in a way, they're both good and bad. At this point, I guess we just enjoy the good episodes that we do get. We are definitely in the final arc of the season with just 6 episodes left to go. On the next episode, episode 15, All Hail Prince Vicar, the Rangers finally battle the evil Prince Vicar, who comes to Earth with his very own Megazord. Seems like we're steamrolling towards the finish. Whether that's a good or bad thing remains to be seen. That's going to do it for another Power Rangers Super Megaforce episode review. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like the video by clicking the thumbs up button right down below. Subscribe to my channel to see new videos whenever I post them. And leave me some comments down below. What did you think of In the Driver's Seat? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you want it to burn in the deepest pits of fiery inferno? Let me know. Enjoy some links to other videos while I go find a cat to talk to. Once again, thank you for watching, and until next time, may the power protect you.